Hello folks, just had a shower, so again, God was speaking to me about a few subjects that would be worth doing. So this is the first one. I watched a thing on Facebook earlier, which was a service by Oasis Church in Elgin. It was their yesterday's service. And again, I just go to God and say, thank you so much for making sure I'm banned from these churches, because I couldn't be in them. Yesterday, one of the people bringing the message spoke about revivals and spoke about the fact that we've seen revivals in the past, and he's just asking God, bring it now. Bring a revival now in our time, in our lives, in our situations, in our church. Through the renewal of the mind and through this and that and the other. And it's like, for goodness sake, in the last 30 years I've heard this being said. Around the world it must have been said nearly 1 billion times over the past 30 years. And it's led to nothing. Because there is just no understanding. No understanding at all. It is ridiculous. Yeah. Here we are. Here we are in 2024 and they're saying the same crap. They do not understand. Because that's the point. Again, what amazes me about the stupidity of it. And this is what amazed me about the River Church. Is that I'd even spoken to the pastor about what he had been doing. Well, about the fact that when he went on holiday, he put someone in charge of bringing the word. And what that person brought was incredibly immature. Showed a massive lack of understanding of God's will, God's plans. And people just said, well done. Said it was fantastic. And when I spoke to the pastor, to Jeff Oakes, about it, his response was, yeah, but you just shouldn't have said anything about it on the internet. What? You can't defend what the person said, what the person did. Therefore, you can't defend the fact that you got someone who's not an elder. He is actually counted as an elder of the church because he's old. He's not an elder with regards to an experienced spiritual person who's been walking with God and being used by God for years and years and years and years and years. He's just an old man who's been in the church for 40 years and been absolutely and totally useless to anyone. He does the greeting, okay, but if that's his level, great. If that's what you can do, just let him do that because he's good at that. But sticking him up there, I never blamed the bloke for it. I never blamed him, the bloke who spoke, because he should never have been put up there. And when I spoke to the pastor could not defend what the bloke had said. He basically said, but his intentions were good. What the Excuse me. This is what the people of God are worthy of. As long as your intentions are good, if you're bringing utter crap and utter drivel, it doesn't matter. Right? To me, I just thank God that I'm not in these places. Because these churches are lazy. This is the point. They are lazy. Spiritually, they are incredibly lazy. Because how can you not be going to God and saying as a leadership, why are we still asking the same thing now as we were 30 bloody years ago? But none of them are asking that question. They're not going to God and saying, well, hold it, what's going on? Why aren't we getting this revival? We keep on saying to you, we want it, we want you to do it. What's going on? And then that's the point. Wait for the answer. Yeah, I would have been completely with the person that Jeff Oakes picked to bring that service if he'd have done a service on the fact that you don't say anything unless God has given you something to say. Because if God hasn't given him something to say, he shouldn't have said anything. He leant upon his own understanding. I'll remind you what he was saying. He was talking about the fact of, the Jews were wrong. They should have released Jesus instead of Barabbas. Right? Then saying Adam was wrong. He should have told Eve not to eat of that tree. Again, understanding God's plans. Is there any of that inside that tiny little head of yours? Why on earth was that man put forward to bring that? It showed no understanding at all of God's plan, and yet the person in charge, which again, as I said, he should never have been the person in charge. Mr. Oakes is still part of the leadership of a church in America. He's still part of the leadership of churches in Mexico. He does a lot of work over there. And so he's jetting off here, there, everywhere. On his mind constantly is what's going on in his other places. What? Come on. And to see that the Oasis Church in Elgin is exactly the same is, in a way encouraging, because it's, okay. Yeah. I was right. But I prefer if they started proving me wrong than proving me right all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the thing, is that, all these churches in the area. And as I say, it's not just this area. It really isn't. I know that because I was in churches in Inverness. I've been in churches in Inverness. I've been in churches in Kent. Loads of churches all around Kent. And exactly the same. No matter where you go, it's the same. It's the same rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And they think they're doing a good job. But the reason why they think they're doing a good job is because they don't look at fruit. They don't look at fruit. And the reason why they don't look at fruit is because they're not doing a good job. If they looked at fruit, they would understand they're not doing a good job, and that's why they don't look at fruit. Things aren't done for no reason. If a church isn't looking at fruit, there's a reason. If a church isn't preaching the harder words of Yeshua, there's a reason. There's always a reason. Yeah. So, there you go. Again, I thank God that I'm banned from these churches, because, it is incredibly difficult being in them. Because you've got to speak out, and as soon as you speak out, you're banned. There you go. Take care. Bye-bye.